I've literally been sitting here talking for like the last 7 minutes. I thought I had already hit live. And then I got some people asking, are we live yet? And I'm like, wait, what? Good evening. Welcome, Options Trade King. Man, it's been one of those days, one of those weeks, hasn't it? Please like and subscribe to our channel, guys. It means a lot. We do appreciate it. Let's go start looking at some stuff. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my video just here, just so you guys can see the screen a little better. Okay, so futures today. You can see I've been charting this out. So I've been kind of looking at a channel within a wedge. Here, I had said that if it broke out, I thought this would be the first move, which would have been up to about the top of the wedge. Then I thought would have pulled back, continued. Instead, we broke down, which if you move this down here to where it broke out at, it came down just a little past that and started to pull back. I was a little worried right here that it was going to continue down, but we broke back up, and now we're back in this wedge. So this could be a lot like what we experienced with Apple the other day, except in reverse. Apple, we had a false breakout right here, and then it came down and collapsed through. Now with the futures, it played the other way, which is good. We just need to see this continue on now. We see, then we see. If we look at the SPY, guys, which I'm actually going to go to the SPX because it shows a little better. Here's the SPY. This doesn't show it as good. If I go to the SPX, it actually shows, the breaking the days. So I was telling you guys, yesterday and today, that a lot of times when you gap down on, especially like on an index or futures, it likes to fill the gap. Okay, so this is your gap, and when I say fill it, it means it's going to come back up. That's happened both. So both yesterday and today have been very similar. Gaps down, and then works majority of the day to close the gap. Gap down, worked majority of the day to try and close the gap. We didn't quite get there. Had a sell at the end of the day, but if this gap's down again, I am watching for Microsoft tomorrow. I'll show you why. So Microsoft had a breakout of a channel, but that's not what I'm watching. What I'm watching is this thing is acting just like the SPY did. It gaps down and goes up to fill the gap. Gaps down, goes up to fill the gap. It's already gapping down again. You can bet if I see this gap down again tomorrow, I'm going to take a position. Probably not for tomorrow. That'd be a really extreme lotto. I've told you guys I'm trying to stay away from the extreme lottos right now. But I would do next week, so I had some time in case it doesn't work out. But I think tomorrow you might be able to get a 100% gainer if it gaps down and then it tries to fill the gap again. We see and then we see. Okay, I do see a slight decline trend happening, so I wouldn't expect it to be as high. Maybe to this, if it gaps down to the same level, which you can see down here, it's forming a pretty solid line here. So if it gaps down to 241 in the morning, you might have a couple dollar increase out of it. I don't know. I'll watch. I'm not sure what I'm going to take. It's such a mess right now. Pleasure you, Faye. I'm holding Leap Play. $3.5 $25 call and $3.19 $27 call down 75. Faye. That's a Craig call. This isn't looking bad. You're holding a $3.5 $25 call and $3.19 $27 call. So this just ran up way too high. and now it's been consolidating for a long period of time. Guys, I think this is the whole market. This is pretty much a summation of the whole market. It's gotten pumped up really high, and things are just kind of trading almost sideways, downward, to let these EMAs catch up. But I like this setup right here. That's catching 50 EMA support. Like to see it get back through these EMAs and continue upward. You still got plenty of time on those though, so I definitely watch at least in the next week. From Nancy. AIG. AIG is catching support. Really, I would like to see this hold up a little bit higher, but it's doing okay. I don't see anything wrong with AIG. Nothing to panic for any reason yet. So AIG looks, honestly, AIG has been running up into earnings, and now earnings came out and it's been holding, it looks like. So, that's a good sign. PLTR. Hey guys, all you really need to know about PLTR is that Cathie Wood's ARK bought it. So here you can see my breakdown estimations. First price point was right here. That's almost exactly where it broke down to. Next price point would have been here, broke down to there, and now it's continued further. Well, it's already back up to here. But like I said, ARK, Cathie Wood. If you don't know who that is, Google it. But ARK is taking a long position in this, and a lot of traders are following Cathie Wood right now. She's a very good investor. Fubo. Fubo is heading into a wedge here, and it's coming up on earnings. It is down pre-market, but never trust pre-market or post-market drops. Oh, that was the end of the day sell-off, so it's already back up. Yeah, I still wouldn't trust that last little bit there. If this does break down, though, I see this heading for the 50 EMA before continuation upwards. I would imagine that's why King gave it so much time when he took that Fubo play today, just in case it does drop down. But there was a lot of flow coming in for Fubo today. Snow. Okay. So guys, I told you in chat. Really I saw it pulling back to the 290, 291 level. It's just barely below that right now. But here's why. So we had a breakout of this channel. We caught resistance. I really wanted to see this get pinched up against this trend line right here, but that's okay. It just came down a little bit further. But that's what I was guessing off of when it was up here. I was when it first hit here, I was looking down here and I thought, okay, this pulls back down, catch resistance on this, and then slowly start working its way up. It went through that. But like I said, that's okay. It actually can fall as low as 284 and then continue up. Still long on this for March, but I have closed out most of my February positions except for a couple next week. Snow. SNDL. Guys, SNDL was a pump. It was a WSB pump, and on this day, they decided to have a mass sell-off. I am no longer in SNDL. I don't know what's going to happen here. King closed out his positions, marked an exit, trim level. Not to say that weed stocks won't run. It's still at $1.40. It's still up way more than it was back here, but it's still at $1.40. So we see, and then we see PLTR we just did. Riot. Guys, all you really need to know about Riot is that if Bitcoin is doing well, Riot will do well. Now, it has gotten extended up above the EMAs. I've told you guys, for all you guys that are new, whenever you get really up above these EMAs, it will either start to trade sideways and wait for these to catch up, or it'll pull down, catch support, and then continue on. So But if you have any leaps in this, I mean, you might see a little bit more of a pullback yet. It's sitting right on a support. You can see right here. It's down a little bit in PostMarket, but like I said, I never trust PostMarket. I don't know how many shares are being traded in PostMarket. But I think you're fine. Riot, Mara. I think they're going to go well long term. GTE, which I think we talked about. This is a penny stock, guys. This is sub to $1. I don't know. This is probably getting pumped. Here was the initial volume spike, and you can see it. Since then, I don't know what's going to happen with this, though. Like I said, it's energy sector's hot, whatever this is. But a lot of times this stock can get pumped. This thing can, I mean, it's not to say that it's chart agnostic, because it does still follow chart rules. Got up too high, just like I told you guys in the last stock. And you guys will see these patterns just happen over and over. But gets up way too high, comes down, retests for support, got momentum again, got way too high again, came down and retesting. If the trend continues, this will run up again. But like I said, I don't know if it's getting pumped. I don't know if it's getting dumped. So while it does still follow charts, when it comes to here, I don't know if it's going to plummet down because it's getting dumped, or if it will continue on and get pumped some more, or if it's not, or if it's just a decent stock that is just starting to take off. NAK. Same thing, guys. This looks good. We got too high above the EMAs, came back, and we caught support of the 200 EMA. I love 200 EMA bounces, but once again, this is a sub-dollar stock, so I don't know. 78 cents, guys. I mean, look at these. Look at the slow stow. It's all over the place. You can see exactly where it gets pumped, gets tons of volume, dies off, gets volume, dies off. I mean, you can see it plain as day. Volume, volume. So at some point here, you'd be looking for more volume, another pump. Shop, good one. All right. Shop just had earnings. Imagine, I didn't see what the earnings were, but I imagine they blew it out of the water just like Amazon did. And the next, I honestly think that Shop will eventually here, if the market gets turned around. Like I said, guys, I don't know. It's a little weird right now. I'm not having the market's doing things that it shouldn't be doing. I feel like it's overextended. It's tired, needs some pullback. Oh, hang on. Craig wants to join the call. 1 second here. I just send him an invite. Sorry, guys. 1 second, please. Okay. All right. Let's see if Craig joins. I really would like Shopify to hold the 1400 mark. That's an even number. Access psychological support. It's fallen below that. I don't know if this 9 EMA will be enough to hold it, or if it's going to come down to this 20 EMA. I'd want to see a breakout of this current trend upward again before I made a decision on to get in or get out. So GTE, NAC, Shop, NTR. Guys, please like and subscribe again. Once again, there's 33 people on here. I don't know why I shouldn't get 30 likes. It takes a click of a button at the bottom of the screen. NTR looks good. We've got a 50 EMA bounce. We broke through the 9 to 20, came back and tested. It's ran up, and now it's kind of consolidating, testing again. I'd say I'm bullish on this. I'd be looking for, I would imagine this might come down. So we got a new high up here. I would imagine this might come down a little bit further. Test this for support and then wrap around back up for a retest. Guys, a lot of times that's exactly what a cup and handle is, right? So if this swings back up and retests, comes down, catches support on this right here, and then would rocket through, right? That'd be a cup and handle. So we see, and then we see, but yeah, it doesn't look bad at all. Not nearly as bad as some of the other stocks we're looking at. CRM. CRM looks good. Heading up into earnings, you can see here that it broke through the ZMAs, came back and tested for support. Couldn't get through the resistance, right? Got kind of wedged in here. Finally got, pinched and made a big move. Came back, tested for support, and has been ripping up. Now it's just come back and testing for support again. I could see this totally continuing on, especially up into earnings next week. I'd say CRM is a good call right now. MVIS. Guys, this is another pump. I used to day trade the shit out of this stock last year when I was day trading. This was a 15-cent stock 52 weeks, a year ago. 15 cents. I mean, that's insane. You can see exactly where it gets. It got some big momentum back here, in December. It keeps getting pumped up. Like I said, guys, this keeps getting pumped. But I mean, it's coming back down for support right now. If this holds, it could continue on again, but it gets pumped. So hard to say. Just so you guys know, MVIS gets all over the Twitter boards. Faye looks okay. So had a 50 EMA bounce here. What I would like to ultimately see on this, because it is looking like it's overbought, is a slight pullback, maybe to this area, to the right around the 20 area, 2050, and then see it retest and get above these EMAs. If it can't, and it gets pushed back down here, it could fail this, and then head down towards the 100 EMA. So once again, you can see, guys, like I told you though, stocks don't like to get too far above the EMAs. They pull back. Even Tesla does that. MSTR. Got way too high, way too quick. Ran from 800 to 1,300 in 2 days. That's insane. Now we're consolidating. So is the 9 EMA enough to hold this? We see and then we see. If not, it could fall down to the 20 EMA. You could see that it has needed the 20 EMA support here not too long ago. These are getting pretty spread out. It might need some more consolidation before continuing. So I would keep an eye on MSTR. If it does pull back to here somewhere, or if this continues back up, I would look for a new long on this, because it could very easily go back to retest that. ANVS. Okay, so it's hitting some resistance right here. EMAs are coming up. Ultimately, this might be a cup and handle right here, right? This could easily get denied right here, come down, catch support, and then rip. And it's a biotech. Got some real significant volume right here. So this would have been your key to enter right here. This is probably what, if somebody noticed this, was this amount of volume right here. That was an entry point. And then it ripped up the next day. super high. People took profits. So I'd imagine, this is, it's not I don't know, it might have gotten pumped. Biotechs, they are getting pumped right now. Yeah, you know what, though? This could very well keeps gapping up and pulling down, gapping up, pulling down. See how it acts tomorrow, but it acting pretty regular there, trending. DNN, what is it? Oh, okay, guys, we gotta stop looking at these dollar stocks. It's a pump. Look at all this volume. This is a pump. This has nothing to do with charts. DPW pump. We dig right through the 200 EMA. What is the pump? I mean, this is not acting normal. Look at these huge swings it has. DPW, TNK. Well, this has gotten a lot of volume all over the board. Massive climb up. I would expect a pullback. Like I showed you guys, doesn't like to be this high above EMAs. And you broke through a big resistance right here, this 200 EMA. I would expect at some point here you get a 200 or 9 EMA pullback to retest. Whenever you normally break through a big resistance like this, it almost always comes back and tests for support, and it doesn't look like it's really done that. SOS. Once again, these are Craig's. These are momentum stock, guys. No volume, little volume, big volume. This is being pumped. Corrects. Oh, lie. Yeah. So you can see it's catching support right here. If it can't hold that, it will probably fall down to the 100 EMA. I guess I'd wait to see if it holds its support or not. If it can't hold that support, I see it falling further down. You got earnings next week. Ally Auto. This is the one that I believe was heavily shorted at one point. Yeah, we see and then we see. If this could get back up, I mean, this is kind of in a limbo, guys. It's right here in the middle between nothing. I mean, it just depends on where it goes from here. I would just watch this. There's those times where, you look for entry points, right? If it doesn't have the right entry point, then it's just in limbo. It's not a good place to enter or exit. ZNGA. This looks great. This is possibly a momentum stock. But the reason I like this is because we're at a 52-week high and we're right back to testing those limits. Ultimately, I'd like to see it get through it or pull back a little bit and get some. Let's look at it's a little bit on the overbought. So I'd like to see it pull back just a little bit or hold right there for a minute and consolidate. Let the RSI come down a little bit, slow stoke come down a little bit without letting the price fall too much, and then reattempt and rip through. I like this thing. That looks good. QS? No, not too far. Well, yeah, it did. It is. You can see last time it ran up, or sometimes it ran up, right? But each time this runs up, pulls back, runs up, pulls back, runs up, pulls back. I mean, it just QuantumScape likes to be, like I said, all stocks like to get close to their EMAs. This is not nearly as run up as it has been in the past. I mean, this is a $55 to $80, so that's $30 above the EMA. Right now, it's only $50. Now it's only $10 above the EMA. So this still has time to run before it needs a pullback. I mean, it did break through a bunch of EMAs here, and it hasn't really come back to retest. So it might come back I guess it did. It came through here, retested and consolidated here, and then kept going. That was a false breakout right here. You can see my triangle I had drawn. Totally broke out and then failed. I hate this market right now, guys. Like these false breakouts are so, it's people being over wary. Just like I told you guys, this went, yesterday I took profits on this way earlier than I would normally have, but it's that market right now. You got to protect yourself. I just had somebody ask me about power trades. I'm not going to name any names, but okay. But power trades last week took on the 9th, he took an ACB call. Okay. The next day it was up 100%. And somebody asked me, like, well, what do I think now? Because it's down like 75 or 80%. So I went and looked. I was like, well, why didn't you take profits? It was up 100% the next day. And he said, well, because nobody told me to. Guys, it's your accounts. You got to, if you're up 100%, I would have taken profits, some at least, covered myself, protect myself. I mean, 100%. I mean, you literally doubled your money at one point. Why wouldn't you take some profits? I don't get it. Oh, Crocs. Yeah, Crocs. Crocs. That was a leap we took a couple days ago. Crocs looked good. So I liked Crocs yesterday. We took it right around here on this 9 EMA support. It fell a little bit lower, but then recovered. Apparently, though, it didn't hold as actual support because it came down. Now we got 20 EMA support, and now we've broken through again. Now this is looking rippy to me because we got this support on the 20 EMA. We've come through, and I love it when you cross through this trend line right here, and it's come back and consolidating on this trend line. I think that looks really good. I like the way Crocs is looking right now. So, guys, like I told you, I'm going to be watching Microsoft tomorrow. If that thing gaps down in the morning, I'm going to take a long call on it. I don't know. I might take a cheap daily just on the chance that it gets the same pattern again. I mean, if you take a cheap daily in the morning and it's down like at 240 and it goes up $2, you could easily make a couple 100% on that. But we see and then we see. Anything else you guys want to see real quick? I'll pull up XL. XL is breaking down. So just to show you guys, right? We were in a downward channel. I mean, really, it's just now kind of breaking out of that channel. If that breakdown happens, I would, it would put it right at the 100 EMA mark. So if this breakout is a real breakdown, I see that falling to the 100 EMA pretty quick. So, any other questions you guys have? Anything else you want to see? Yay, nay, anybody? I'll pull up any stock you guys want to take a look at here quick. More than happy to help you guys out. Okay, S-Bucks. So this had kind of a false breakout. Oh, man, this false breakout thing is driving me freaking insane here. So I had a breakup, came down, consolidated on 20 EMA. I like where we're at now. We consolidated it. We broke, hit the 20 EMA. We've come back up. Now I'd like to see it hold this 9 EMA for a continuation back upward. I still like the Starbucks call. We got plenty of time. But we see and then we see. I'm long in this call. I've got half a dozen of them. So IQ. Man, that was a crazy drop, wasn't it? And then it went right back to fill the gap. And plus some. So I don't know what earnings caused this. I don't know if people thought it was going to have bad earnings, so it tanked, and then it had good earnings, so it ripped up. I don't know exactly what happened here, but it looks good. looks like it's just about the same position as when, just slightly up and now ready to continue upward into an upward trend. So I just watch IQ, but it looks good. If you guys are in that leap, I think that's good. TWLO. Anybody know what caused this gap up right here? Because I have no idea. Oh, earnings. Earnings caused that. So this must have had good earnings. Came down, coming up to earnings. Had good earnings. And once again, guys, now it's consolidating along this. So this, to me, is looking like it's ready for a move. Doesn't show me which way yet. Okay, I don't have an indication here, clear indication of which way is going to move. RSI is pretty neutral. Slow stow is fairly neutral. Yeah, I mean, it looks to me like it wants to continue moving upward. But then again, pre-market it's dropped. But like I said, I don't always trust pre-market. So I guess watch how this opens. This is obviously strong support where it consolidated along here, which is right where it's sitting at. But you'd really like to see it hold this and continue up. If not, it might get a 9 EMA pullback and then continue. Unfortunately, that's just that's a $20 drop, but $23 drop. It's already down 10, I guess, in pre-market. Once again, guys, pre-market doesn't always matter because you look at pre-market. Look at the volume here. So, I mean, here the candles were, let's just look towards the end of the day here. So these are 15-minute candles, right? Last candle of the day had 264,000 shares. And now in pre-market, it's got 585 shares. There was a 17,000 share sell-off. But it was having much larger volume throughout the day than it is after hours. So that's why I don't trust after hours or pre-market, guys. There's not usually nearly as much volume pre-market or post-market as there is during the day. So it can make weird price movements happen because it doesn't have the majority of the market following it. Can I explain Craig's enthusiasm for they say you shouldn't play low volume stocks. What's your take? Real quick. I don't have any problem with low volume. When I announced the AEI stock, this had really low volume. I mean, back here it had that one candle had 48,000 shares, this was getting traded at one point during the day. It was only getting traded a couple thousand shares, but this was an ultra low float. Float's what's really important. Okay, so ultra low float. This had potential that if it got picked up, it was going to make a big move fast. That's why I played that one day when it was at 10 something. Okay, and it's ran up to almost $30 at one point. But I announced this at 10.50 last week. Ran up to 17.50 the same day. Volume is important on certain stocks because without volume, you don't have liquidity. So just like this one, right? This was a long hold, not for large positions, because if I was Craig or something like that, and I bought several thousands of shares. Well, my several thousands of shares can be hard to get out of because there's not that much volume. And there's some candles in here that are only trading 500 shares. I literally could, it wouldn't take very much to make movements with this stock because it's ultra low float. That's where volume comes into play. You need volume for liquidity. Same thing. That's why we watch flow scanners for options, guys, because when you have lots of flow, you'll notice how sometimes the bids and the ask are so far apart. I mean, really far apart. But then sometimes they're really close. Well, the ones that are really close are the ones that have lots of open interest and volume. It creates liquidity. Croc still have a good entry point. Yes, I believe so. I don't think it's that price that much different than when he took it the other day. It's up a little bit. Like I said, he took it right around $78. It's only up $1. So it was a leap. I'd say you're still good to take this. If you take it in the morning and the price hasn't gapped up, I think this is still a decent entry. Okay. ANVS. I don't know what's going on with ANVS. So this is a biotech stock. I don't know. I'd have to get with Craig to see what's going on here. I mean, either they've had some news, it had some volume here, but it keeps moving up with low volume. So either it's low float or it's being pumped. I don't know. I would need to go, go type in ANVS, put a dollar sign in the front of it, and go type into Twitter. You'll get more news than you've ever wanted on a stock. Like that's where I go for my. If I want to know what's going on with the stock, I'll go type it into Twitter real quick or Stock Twits, and you will get instant news on stocks. It's incredible. Okay, last few. Then we're gonna go, guys. REI is looking okay. Got too high above the EMAs. Got ran up too high too quick. Got ultra thin. Came back. Now it's falling a little bit lower. Like I said, guys, it's a very shaky market right now. I wouldn't pay too much attention to what's going on in after hours. Just wait till it opens. XBV. Yeah, that's tanking hard. That's going for a 100 EMA at the very least. I don't know what this is or why, but it's taking a pretty good dive there. And GTE, I think we did GTE. Yeah, we did GTE at the beginning. Oh. All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll be on a call in the morning. If anybody wants my trading view set up, please like my channel first and then DM me in our Discord, and I will share my setup on TradingView. Have a good night, guys. Let's have a good Friday. Let's try and close better than we did the rest of the week. Night.